Welcome to this HRD podcast. We are joined today by Renee Atwood. Thank you for joining us today, Renee.
Good afternoon to you.
How necessary is it to have an expertise in business, not just in HR, but to excel as a business partner?
Yeah, I think all great HR professionals are up to speed on what's going on in not only their company, but their industry. And I think that absolutely is necessary to have before you're a strategic business partner. In fact, I think it's probably impossible to really be focused on strategic business partnering without that background. So I would say it's critical to be both focused on, the HR discipline and being a student of your discipline, but also being a student of your business.
During your time at Uber, you took the company from 600 employees to more than 5,000. How did you make sure this huge population of talent was retained?
It's a great question. I think one correction is it was actually more than 9,000 when I left. So if you can imagine, went from 500 to 9,500 in my 2.5 years there. So it's pretty unprecedented growth. And I think in those times when it's that fast, you have to teach your managers to re-recruit people every day. And what I mean by that is really having those engaging conversations around what their role is in terms of meaning to the company in alignment to the overall vision. But the key is really focusing on building great managers and leaders, because no HR team can tackle that amount of growth in a sustainable way. So I would say that was a real area of focus for us.
Throughout your significant roles with Twitter, Uber, and Google, how did you align your team and organisation, and how did you manage those visions to align with common objectives?
Yeah, it's certainly challenging. You have many people that you serve, obviously, in the HR function. I always like to tell my clients that, it's important that they think about HR not only as a service function, but as a business partnering function. As a result of that, you need to make sure you have adequate resources mapped up for when those key business initiatives come up. There's no easy answer other than, just good old-fashioned planning around thinking backwards from where the business is, where they need to go, and then where you have your resources. Again, I think also one thing that's always important for HR professionals is what is the business not even thinking of? So where do we need to put resources? Because we know as HR professionals it will be a priority in the future, and our leaders maybe haven't had that experience or aren't focused on it. So it's critical to listen to not only what they want, but also what we think they need in the future.
How does real-time coaching differ in its impact and motivate from traditional methods of performance reviews?
Great question. I think in today's time, attention spans and ability to train people in any sort of classical or maybe old-fashioned is probably the more correct way to say is difficult. So when you think about real-time coaching, you can think about it as everything else that's on our in our world that is on demand. And if you give people the coaching they need at the right moment, they're able to really turn that into action. Whereas if you don't actually have, the coaching is, very much an iterative process. And so building that into your day-to-day workplace is actually just building in what I would call just continuous learning. So I think it's critical that you think about that as you think about how to motivate and actually make managers better every day.
With a rise in the use of technology in the workplace, what skills and experience are necessary for the successful HR professional today?
I think above and beyond, I think it's incredibly important to have, back to our first question, the business background and the business context of what's happening in, again, your industry and then also within your company more broadly, especially in, today's time when all of our, geopolitical, things that are happening around the world actually impact us as well. It's a lot to keep up to snuff on. I spend many times, going through what's happening out in the world and try to think backwards from where it is today and where we need to go. So, so I think it is very important to be focused again on where the business is headed and what you need to know about the business to really have that conversation and be at the table.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Renee. For more information, please visit hrdconnect.com.